evening, I'm Hibaq Ahmed and this is an edition of news from Dalsan TV English broadcast with the latest news from Somalia and across the world. And these are some of our top news headlines. Somali military court sentences man to death for murder at illegal roadblock. Galmudug state conducts elections for Budwak local administrators. And Somali legislators want Speaker Madobe to implement measures to facilitate parliamentary proceedings. Welcome to the broadcast. Abdirahman Ado, who was recently captured by security agencies in Middle Shabelle region for the murder of a driver, has been sentenced to death. The Somali military court found him guilty of all charges leveled against him by the prosecution. The Somali military court has sentenced a man to death by the firing squad after being found guilty of killing a civilian. The court agreed with the prosecution after providing evidence linking Mr. Abdirahman Ado Ise for the murder of Sayle Abdulle. The deceased was shot dead by Mr. Abdirahman at an illegal checkpoint in Balad located about 36 kilometers northeast of the capital city of Mogadishu. The suspect ran an illegal checkpoint where he collected money from drivers using the road connecting Mogadishu to satellite towns. He was arrested by the Somali security authorities shortly after killing Saila, a popular public service driver plying the route. The chief of the Somali military court, Colonel Hassan Ali Shute, announced that the jury found him guilty of the murder and sentences him to death. The murder in Middle Shabelle had caused outrage condemnation from members of the public and netizens following the murder on 19th November. Witnesses, including passengers the deceased was carrying, told the court that the suspect intentionally carried out the killings without provocation. The ruling comes a week after President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud warned against illegal checkpoints manned by criminals soliciting funds from the public. While in Adale, the head of state said action will be taken against anyone who takes part in illegal activities, increasing insecurity across many parts of the country. Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud said the illegal roadblocks have set back gains made recently. Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud said the illegal roadblocks have set back gains made recently against the militant Al-Shabaab. The illegal roadblocks are manned by rogue security services personnel and individuals like Abdirahman and have become a source of revenue for criminals. Mr. Abdirahman Ado now has 30 days to appeal the decision of the military court. The Somali military court, which has about 13 military judges, has since 2017 collectively tried more than 800 militants on charges of murder, terrorism, or both. Mostly Al-Shabaab militants and a few affiliated with the Islamic State group have been convicted by the court and faced the firing squad. Serving members of the Somali National Army have also been executed for various murders of civilians across the country. Galmudug State has conducted local council elections for Budwak local administrators in a tightly contested race. The elections conducted by the regional state have made Muhyiddin Ahmed victorious after winning the Sunday polls.
Galmudug Regional State has installed a new district commissioner and his deputy for Budwak after a competitive election on Sunday. 4 candidates vied for the positions in the elections overseen by the Galmudug Federal State. Muhyiddin Ahmed has been elected as the new chief of Budwak district, while Ahmed Diriye will be deputizing him. The two won against Muhammad Yusuf and Muhammad Hassan Noor, who vied for the position of the district chief and his deputy respectively. The Minister of Interior and Reconciliation of Galmudug State of Somalia, Ahmed Chama, led local legislators and other state leaders in overseeing the exercise. Mr. Jama said establishing community-owned functional local governments responsible for delivering services to their population will support the legitimacy of the government and foster trust and relations between government and local communities. The minister said he believes that the local government will become more transparent since the formation of the district council.
in inta hoolkan ku jirta iyo inta ka maqan bay isku aragti ka yihiin ama daafaha caalamka inta joogto oo dhan maanta munaasabadan caabadu aan ku guuleysan inaan golaheedii deegaanka muddo dheer ka bacdi.
Local council after a very long process aimed at ensuring the district has officials.
Stakeholders believe that previously excluded and marginalized groups, including women, youth, and minority clans' participation in local governance was significantly improved. The local council also linked bottom-up community-owned approaches to top-down state building while promoting mutual accountability and leading to inclusive local governance to ensure delivery of basic services. The new team will also be engaging with ministries and higher authorities to provide services to the people of Abudwaq. More effective local governance systems that are responsible to people's needs and aspirations. More effective local governance systems that are responsive to people's needs and aspirations, inclusive and resilient to the crisis, have an important role in delivering improved quality of life, reducing inequalities, and forming resilient state-society relations based on a shared understanding of respective roles and responsibilities. Other objectives of the local governance councils are aimed at improving good governance, service delivery with a highly decentralized system through participatory, accountable, and transparent local government.
doorashadii gudoomiyaha iyo gudoomiye ku-xigeenka halkaas ku soo ilaatay labada kursi ee gudoomiyaha iyo gudoomiye ku-xigeenka kursiga gudoomiyaha waxa.
The system also intends to effectively utilize the limited resources available at the national, state, and local government levels.
Somali legislators have called on Speaker Sheikh Adan Madobe to implement measures to facilitate parliamentary proceedings, which they say is at risk. This follows increased security checks which have delayed activities in parliament since last week's Al-Shabaab attack at a hotel near Villa Somalia.
Somali legislators have asked Speaker Sheikh Adan Madobe to take appropriate measures to help Parliament do its work efficiently. The members of Parliament have decreed harassment from security agencies on their way to work. The assembly is located in Villa Hargeisa inside Villa Somalia, where the presidency and the office of the prime ministers are located. Parliamentarians said security agencies manning checkpoints leading to Villa Somalia have been giving them a hard time affecting their operations. Security has been tight since the Al-Shabaab dared to attack a hotel near Villa Somalia last Sunday. This led to the postponement of sessions of the House of the People on Monday as gunfire could still be heard in the hotel. The attack was claimed by the group which said it was targeting the presidency, which has renewed fighting against the militant. Federal Member of Parliament Dahir Jeso said the House leadership must defend members of Parliament. He said the House is facing serious challenges that might derail their work and performance, reducing the hopes of the Somali people.
We can visibly see the obstacles and things that will affect the face of this House. We urge the Speaker to be vigilant and lead the House without being misled.
This is the second session of Parliament which went on a 2-month recess after electing the head of state, approving the Prime Minister and his cabinet, as well as the annual budget. The new Parliament, which contains 275 lower house MPs, officially started legislative work in April this year before electing the President and approving his cabinet. The House will play a critical role in the review of the Constitution and formulation of bills critical to service delivery.
More than 100 Somali students have graduated from the Mogadishu campus of University for Peace. The institution of higher learning managed by the United Nations also credited President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who was one of the students graduating with a PhD.
Somalia's pool of academic skills deepened recently with the conferring of a range of postgraduate degrees to 166 students, including the country's president. The event brought together 29 women and 137 men to a venue in the capital Mogadishu for a graduation ceremony for the University for Peace, a tertiary education institution established by the United Nations General Assembly some 4 decades ago.
Education, whether formal or informal, empowers and enables. It drives upward social economic mobility. It is the most efficient leveler. And perhaps most important of all, education provides opportunities for its recipients to meaningfully contribute towards nation building. I can think of few places where the fruits of education are more relevant, no more impactful than in Somalia.
Other senior officials and dignitaries attending the graduation on Friday included Somalia's State Minister of Education, Farah Sheikh Abdul Qadir, the special representative of the chairperson of the African Union Commission for Somalia, Ambassador Mohamed El Amin Souf, who also serves as the head of the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMIS, and other representatives from the international community in Somalia. Presiding over the ceremony was a member of the University's Council, Lala Baka.
Especially within a Somalia context, as it is often in defiance of obstacles such as conflicts, terrorism, and the numerous other challenges. Today we are here to acknowledge your efforts, to thank. I will refer to the importance of education in the context of Somalia by quoting former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, who said, "Education is peace building by another name." As Somalia confronts the challenges of insecurity, education is and will always be the main weapon for long-term peace building.
According to the University for Peace's Professor Samuel Kale Ewusi, who specializes in peace studies and international relations and serves as the director of its Africa Regional Program, it was by design that the university had operations in Somalia, and that the first doctorate of philosophy PhD graduates of its program in Africa were all from Somalia.
If we have to bring peace to anywhere, it has to be Somalia, because it was the ground zero of conflict in Africa.
One of the event's new degree holders, Somalia's President Dr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, took the opportunity to address his fellow graduates and highlight the importance that education can have on their country's future development. To assist and encourage other students considering applying for the university doctoral program, President Mahmoud pledged to create a scholarship fund to support the 100 students willing to pursue doctoral degrees at the university.
Somalia does not lack skills. We have enough qualified people. And now, thanks to UPs, we are getting more and more every day. Today, we have graduates that was not dreaming at all to graduate inside Somalia for this specific and particular subjects. Have we ever had anyone who graduated subjects like environmental science, peace and security? You know, this is a new variable. The day I started to go to school in the 1960s until today, this was a very long journey. But it ended up successfully. I reached the destination peacefully. That demonstrates everybody can reach it. If I did, anyone younger than me, who got more time than I do, can do it.
The country's leader was conferred with a PhD focused on peace, governance and development. He noted that in August this year, he had defended his dissertation, which was titled Examining the Challenges of Clan Politics in State Building, a case study of Somalia. The graduation ceremony was the University of Peace second such event for students in specialized Somalia program. The first cohort of students took part in graduation event in 2021.
Communities in southern parts of Ethiopia are suffering from a devastating drought following 4 consecutive failed rain seasons since late 2020, entering a 5th failed season from October to December. The situation will likely continue to drive high humanitarian needs in the coming months and well into 2023. Accordingly, the humanitarian needs have exponentially increased in the last few months, exacerbating the complexity of the humanitarian crisis and associated response. Some 17 million out of 24 million people living in drought-affected areas are targeted for assistance until the end of the year, up from 8.1 million people targeted earlier in the year. Over 10 million people are in need of urgent food assistance in the drought-affected regions. The Somali, Oromia, Sidama, and southern nations, nationalities and peoples regions have been hit the hardest. And those are some of our top stories for this hour. This is Dalsan TV English broadcast with me, Hibak Ahmed. Till we meet again, enjoy the rest of your viewing.